Glad you could join me. Let's talk about authenticity. Let's take it from the top. How you appear. So, I have a mohawk. I am female. I am a fairly feminine female. However, I am a balanced female. And the way that I do my hair is actually the freest I've ever felt in my life. When I was a child, my hair was not my own choice. I had absolutely no say in how I wore my hair, how it was cut, and that caused me a lot of problems internally. When I became a teenager, I finally had the opportunity to express my hair in the way that I wished. And I chose to do this in an unconventional way, not to get attention, because I actually preferred to be invisible when I was a teenager. It was solely because of the fact that it was the first time in my life I was able to choose my own hairstyle. At the time, I had never had long hair, and I didn't even know how to care for hair. And so I kept it short, but in an unconventional way because I've never considered myself to be a conventional person. When it came to learning how to put on makeup and all of that stuff, I never really, I would go like a little bit of time and wear makeup for a little while. And maybe every now and then I'll wear makeup now. But I never felt like it was something that I wanted to do. And so therefore, I never really got into the habit. When it came to my clothing choices, it has never been about a fad. Never. As a matter of fact, I blatantly stay away from fads. This can be kind of difficult when you're going shopping and everything in the store is all about the fads, right? But I always found a way to create my own style. Now, I want to be very specific about this, okay? Because when it came to my personal appearance, I felt very constricted by my family, my career choices, and society. And so as I got older, like I fell into a box, if you will. And I felt it was better for me to be not noticed than to be noticed. And so I actually started to move away from things that were loud, things that drew attention to myself. I considered myself to be a fairly conservative person, and so I wanted to present myself as conservative. But really deep down inside, I didn't feel like that. I was only wearing a mask in order to blend in. And then a little over a year and a half ago, an insecurity led to me making drastic changes to my personal appearance. Wearing a mohawk. When I originally went in there, I at that point was starting to finally like get to a place where I felt comfortable expressing myself through my hair. The year prior, I had started to wear colorful extensions in my hair, something I had never done before because I felt like it was outside of the box I was supposed to live in. And so I felt like I should never dye my hair any other color than a natural color. And then I went to an extreme and I started using extensions to have different colors in my hair. And then after that, I dyed the bottom half of my hair in the ombre look in my favorite color, teal. And I really liked the way it looked. But I was starting to lose my hair on the sides of my head, and it was causing me a great amount of insecurity. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to figure out something different. And I considered it for a while. And I came to this conclusion. I consider myself to be a warrior. And this led to me wanting to express my hair in a way that was, again, unconventional. Because I feel like we as warriors, and I'm not just talking about veterans, I'm talking about every single one of us who has fought a battle, even within ourselves. We're warriors. We're warriors because we have never given up on that dream of a life of, I don't want to say ease, but peace. And isn't that what a warrior dreams of? I believe this is the difference between a warrior and a marauder. A marauder does it for the glory. A warrior does it for purpose. And so I chose to put my hair to wear my hair in a mohawk because I found it to be the best way to express both my femininity and the masculine protector within me. And I fell in love with it. Yeah, at first I was like, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. But as I started to adjust to the way I looked in the mirror, I started to remember myself, to remember that rebellious teenager who didn't care what people thought of her hair, who didn't care about what people thought of her clothes. Because that was, for me, one of the best times of my life, when I was finally living in a place where I felt like I was myself, where I finally had the choice to choose what I wore and how I wore my hair. So for me, my hair is a symbol of my freedom. And freedom is one of my top values. And so it is my expression of my freedom. This is how we reach our authenticity. It's not about getting attention, because trust me, sometimes I don't want the attention. Sometimes I don't, because, if I'm out with my friends or I'm out with, my kids, I don't like getting stared at sometimes. But I made the choice, and so I deal with it, and I live with that choice. Because being authentic, sometimes you're unconventional. And when you're unconventional, people stare. And that's part of the reason why we have to be brave in order to be authentic. Now, let's talk about the way we dress. It is absolutely important to dress to impress when it's necessary. When it's not necessary, you shouldn't just, wear things that don't make you feel good about yourself. That's not expressing yourself in a loving way. I truly believe that when we walk out of the house, we are showing the world us. We are showing the world how we feel about ourselves. So when you walk out of the house, this is your visual representation of what's going on the inside. Take, for example, somebody who, I know, I have always admired, there was this woman that I met a very long time ago, and she told me that you have absolutely no intention when you leave the house to meet people. However, there's always the possibility you will meet people. And as people, we judge, right? So if we are totally concerned about how other people are viewing us, what do we want to present? Do we want to present that we care about ourselves? or that we just gave up? How do you feel about yourself on the inside? Because this is how the rest of the world views it. And if you feel harmonious on the inside and you care for yourself in a way that you are harmonious on the outside, then it doesn't matter what you are wearing as long as it represents how you are feeling. If you walk out of the house in your pajamas, the world is going to think you've given up on yourself. If you have truly given up on yourself, I pray for you. When we talk about makeup, okay, makeup is a little bit of a difficult subject to bring up because it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? So as women, if we wear makeup, we risk I can't tell you, I have had a lot of guy friends throughout my years, and one of the number one things they always talked about was you never know what to expect when you wake up in the morning. Because, if you are literally painting on a face that makes you look completely different than what you truly are, is that authentic? Don't get me wrong, I absolutely agree that makeup is totally a part of your personality if it is truly you and you are highlighting what you have and not trying to cover up what you have. When you are trying to cover up what you have, then now you're not being authentic to yourself. You're trying to make yourself look like somebody else. But if you feel vibrant and beautiful on the inside and want to have vibrant and beautiful eyes on the outside, go for it, honey. It's when you start messing with the way you actually appear that it becomes inauthentic. Now, let's move from the outside appearance to the inside personality, okay? So, personality. I have a very large personality, and it's very varied because I have lived a lot of different places in my life, so many different places that it's kind of ridiculous. And so I picked up habits, phrases, tics, whatever you want to call them, from all of these different places that I've lived. And because of that, I have a very unconventional personality. I am a vet, and so I can sit there and have a sailor's talk for 8 hours and then turn around and talk to a therapist for another 8 hours about, being a healer, okay? I have that ability to be able to talk to a whole bunch of different types of people because I've experienced so many different types of things in my life, right? And I have stories out the wazoo that make it easy to see that my personality is kind of patchwork. And that's what's authentic about it. None of it is, you can tell there's no script. You can absolutely tell there's no script. Because one second I'm on this subject, the next second I'm here, and then I'm over here, and then I'm over there, and it's all over the place because that is my personality. I'm very squirrel-like, okay? I see something, I hear something, I feel something, I say it. So when it comes to your personality, if you are afraid of being exactly who you are because you are afraid of people not liking you, you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to attract to you the people that are like you. I realized that last week. I am a very deep individual in the respect that I don't like shallow, casual conversation. I can handle it for about 15 minutes. And then actually I don't even think I can handle it for 15 minutes at this point. It might be 5, and then I'm diving deep into something in your psyche that you may not have even realized was there. Okay. I can't help myself. That's my personality. I am deep. But if you keep it surface level and very shallow and build up walls around you so that nobody can see who the true you is, and nobody can see your authenticity. And in that case, you're not allowing the people that would be like, hey, I vibe with that, to come forward and be like, hey, my name's so-and-so. Want to hang out? So when we are hiding our true self, our true personality, whether it be you have like an insanely loud laugh, or like you are super boisterous, or you're like the type of person who's really bad about the Midwest goodbye, which in some places is also called the Southern goodbye, just depending on where you're from. You know, that I gotta go. Oh, okay. Oh, and then, oh, did you hear about last week when oh, those people crack me up. I'm guilty of it too. Don't worry. But it's when you're actually authentically yourself that you can find people that vibe on your level. Okay? When we hide it because we're afraid that people will make fun of it, then we don't get to meet the other people who are afraid because they might get made fun of, right? One bravely authentic person can turn another person bravely authentic. Because when people are around me and they see me like not caring like about somebody else caring about my personality is like, and I'm being exactly the goofy self that I am, it makes them relax, and it makes them feel like, well, I mean, if she's not afraid of looking silly, then I don't have to be afraid of looking silly. And trust me, I've been there. I've been afraid of looking silly. I've also been the one that tried to have fun with somebody who was afraid of looking silly. So it's not like, you know, everybody feels that way. Everybody feels that way. If you are authentically you, based on what you have gone through in life, like if you grew up in a tiny town around the same exact people your whole life, you have a completely different life than I ever had. I'm super interested to hear about your life. No joke, because it gives me a different perspective. And I love that you are offering your perspective to me in an authentic way. There's absolutely no need to, what's the word I'm looking for? Exaggerate your life. None. Because you'll be interesting to someone. Someone vibes on your level. Somebody has had the same kinds of experiences in their life, has the same kind of personality that you do. Well, not personality, but like humor, you know, like we're all different expressions, right? Now, let's talk about the way we treat people. This is super important, guys, okay? Because, and I did a video a little while back. It was a deep dive into 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and it was about love. And in a deep way, like if you are just performing charity, and I spoke about the difference between the word charity and love. If you are just performing charity, what's that doing for your soul? Nothing. Literally, it says you could sacrifice, give up your body to sacrifice, but without love, you have gained nothing. It doesn't matter if you give away $50 billion. If you do not have in your heart an altruistic reason, an authentic reason to want to do that, then you're not gaining anything except for prestige or whatever. But what does prestige do? Nothing. It fades. History remembers maybe 1%. Maybe 1%, if even that. Why would it matter in 50 years if you just were a philanthropist because it's part of your, you know, I don't know, court order? I don't know why court order came to my mind, but like as a part of your personality in a way, like, or your persona, that's the word I'm looking for, your persona. The mask you wear. You want to look like a humanitarian, but in reality, you're in the back room, like, downing Cristal and, cases, and someone around the corner is like starving. Okay. If you don't actually have love in your heart and you're not doing it for an authentic reason, I'll tell you what really grinds my gears. Seeing people do those videos where they do good things. It makes my soul shiver. When you are authentically yourself, you don't see other people as just people. You see them as an expression of a soul. And it doesn't matter what that person is doing. You see them in their soul because you are your soul on the outside as well as on the inside. And even if that person is struggling and they're not being authentic, they're not harmoniously balanced, they are in a chaotic state, you feel for them. You truly feel for them because you remember the struggle. You remember fighting with fear. Your fear may have come up differently than theirs, but that's all in our experience, right? No judgments. That's the point. No judgments. If you block out the judgments of others and block your own judgments of others, you can be more authentic. I don't care if you have a penny or you have the most money in the world. If you are in front of me, you are a person second and a soul first. And the first thing that I'm going to do with you is to connect with you where you are. Not abandoning my own authenticity, but bringing my form of authenticity at your level so that you feel comfortable enough to blossom into the beautiful flower you are. That's the difference between authenticity and performance. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.